is Tech Time with Richard Ramdani. Or Tech Talk, sorry. We're never going to get it.
I realize that.
Consistent.
In any case, we'll be talking tech, so it's Tech Time, whichever you want to call it. Morning, Christine. Morning, Mark.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Very
Not bad,
good.
not bad.
All right. Okay, well, today it's Tech Time again, as we know. It's Monday, and I think we're going to be talking about a few Windows 7 tricks and tips today.
Okay.
You know, we've looked at a lot of different things, web pages, mobile devices, tablets, and I thought, we would go back to some basics today, even though most people are pretty familiar with Windows. I think it's a very popular operating system that most people would use on a day-to-day basis who use a PC. But, there's always a couple little nifty things that you might not know about. So we'll try to share some of that with the folks today.
Sounds good, sounds good.
All right. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about Windows 7. Windows 7 has been launched a couple of years now, and actually Microsoft should be releasing a new version of Windows later this year, Windows 8. So we look forward to that. But Windows 7 has become pretty popular. They kind of messed up a little bit with the previous version, which was Windows Vista. It wasn't very well received. They had, some ideas to make it a lot more visually closer to the Apple OS, with a lot of the transitions and just that's what Apple is, very well known for is their user interface and the visual aspect of it. So Windows, I think, tried to, copy them a bit. Let's be honest, but imitation is not necessarily a bad thing because I think they did try to get it to be more user friendly, but they didn't quite get it right, like I said, with Windows Vista that was released previous to Windows 7. But I think when they went back to the drawing board, came back with Windows 7, they got a lot of things right.
Okay.
Yeah, but I quite enjoy a number of the features that Windows 7 offers, and not just from a visual aspect, but from a productivity aspect as well. So one of the first things that I like about it is the smart window feature. And if I open up my just a Explorer window here, you can see that, well, it's a typical Explorer window. I can, access a number of shortcuts on the left-hand side. I can access my C drive. But a couple of things they did here that makes it pretty useful. So if I had any, and this applies to any window, any application running within Windows, I can, if I want to maximize it, we tend to have to go and click on one of these buttons up here before, right? Now I can just drag it up to the top of my screen and release, and it will maximize it for me. Okay, you might say that's pretty, just ordinary, but let's say I had two windows open. I'm going to open up a Google Chrome browser, and I had my Explorer window in the background. So I want to see both these at the same time. Before I might have to adjust my screen to be able to see both. Now it's a lot easier. I can just drag, say, my browser window over to the right, and it will automatically frame it for me in half the screen. And I can do the same thing over here.
Okay.
And now I can have a split screen. So I could, say, be working on a document. Let's say it was a Word document. I'll just open up Word here. I can do the same thing with Word and have a web page open here. Maybe I'm, doing a project or a paper or something for, a proposal for work, and I need some information from the internet. I can have my split screen display, and that helps me quite a lot.
Plagiarism quite easy, right? You could,
it's not plagiarism if you
research. What is wrong with you? With references. But that's really good for multitasking, and most of the times we're on the computers, we're doing a million things at the same time.
Yeah, so and that's the point of it, is to be able to multitask, because that's where Windows is sort of, and well, most operating systems nowadays try to give you benefits, is the ability to do multiple things at the same time, and that's the whole point.
Well, I have spent quite a number of minutes, I won't say hours, but minutes resizing windows and so on, so that I can have two open at a time. You said that will go across on all windows?
Yeah, all windows, that any application. I think there are some applications where, if, like, let's say you have a program that has a child window, another window pops up from within that program. It may not necessarily work, but most applications take advantage of that feature. Another cool thing, if you just go back to my screen for a second, is that if I have, usually you'll start working and then you end up with, a million different pages open or a million different programs open. If I wanted to just focus on one thing and I wanted to declutter my screen, I could just take my window and I can just shake it, and everything else will disappear.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
This is on all versions of Windows?
Windows 7.
7.
Yeah.
Oh, this is only Windows?
Yeah, this
So I'm
is
guessing 7 and up.
7 and up,
So I'm
exactly.
guessing
And 7
8
is
might
the
have
current
it.
release. So 8 will
Right,
probably
right.
have these features. I don't think Vista had a lot of these features. Like I said, they tried, but they didn't get...
Shake it. That's all you have to do.
Just give it a little shake with your mouse, and you're good to go.
I want to see that again. Can you do it again?
I'll just put back up my browser. I'll put back up, what else did I have? Oh, yes, my Explorer window. And if I'll just take this one then, anyone, and just give it a little shake, and everything else disappears. And I can just drag this to the top, and then... So,
Nice,
pretty cool, huh?
nice.
So, just moving on, while we have this up now, you notice that everybody's familiar with the Windows taskbar. You know, once you have a program open, you would tend to have a little icon representing that program, excuse me, at the bottom of your screen that shows what the program is. Now, what's cool about the taskbar in Windows 7 is that rather than me having to say, well, okay, I have a couple Word documents open, for example, which is the one, I'm not sure which one is the one I want to use. If I hover over the taskbar, I'll get a little preview of it. So you can see there's one that's blank, and if I hover over that, it brings it up. Or there's one that I'm working on, which has my script for today. So, so I can just, switch between them, and I don't actually have to launch it, but it'll just give me a preview of what it is. The same thing for my Explorer window, I can do that. And, that allows me to just look very quickly and see which window I want to access or give focus to my screen. Right?
Sounds good.
Yep. And then the other cool thing is that with the taskbar is that, this, if you notice, there are a number of icons down here. I have sort of pinned to my taskbar. It's called pinning it. So if I right-click on my Google Chrome, which is now open, I can say pin this program to my taskbar. Now that wasn't, let's just close Google Chrome, and you'll see that goes away. So when I want to launch Google Chrome, I will have to go to my Start menu, click Google Chrome, and then it launches. That's fine. But if I wanted to use it, access it from my taskbar, I can simply right-click and go pin to this program to my taskbar. And now when I close it, it remains there. Now notice it's just a regular icon like the rest. It's not highlighted like my Skype and my Microsoft Word. But if I click on it again now, it launches very quickly, and I can see that it's open based on the transparent overlay that is over the icon. And then the last thing that's cool about the taskbar in Windows 7 is that I can hover over it like I showed you, or I can right-click on it, and this brings up this little menu here. And it gives me a number of shortcuts, most visited sites, and I can launch new instances of the window. And you can also do this by left-clicking and dragging it up. So notice I can kind of give it a little more control there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how useful this is to kind of, go in and out, but just a little trick there. You can, you can access those additional shortcuts. And it just makes it a lot faster to get where you want to go, access the information you want to. And like I said, I use this every day in my job, and I find it helps cut down a lot of time in figuring out, well, which window, what information I need to access, and just organizing myself. And it's just tools. It's tools to make you more efficient and organize your computing experience.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's pretty
good.
cool
That's
features.
good.
Yep.
I hadn't heard of those before.
Yep. Moving on, I'm actually going to show you some new features about the calculator in Windows 7.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and launch it. Now, I don't have it pinned anywhere, so I'm just going to type in calc. That's a little shortcut you can use, and that should launch the calculator. Now, I have my basic, I'm just going to minimize these other screens here. I have my basic calculator here.
Actually, if you just shake the
Yeah, I was
taskbar, all
thinking
that
the
stuff
same
will
thing.
disappear,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I'll try that next time. Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't use the shake feature too often, but it's pretty cool. You have to admit.
It is cool.
Yeah, so I was saying the calculator. You have your standard calculator, and of course you can add, subtract, divide, multiply, and so on. But if you go to the View menu, you notice there's a couple of the options there. Now, just for our students and people maybe working with a little more complex things, you have some different features, different modes of the calculator. So you have your scientific calculator, fairly straightforward. You have your programmer calculator. This is pretty cool. Now, this is for people who actually are coding, and it will do things like convert it from hexadecimal to decimal to octave to binary, different ways of displaying the information. And then you have the statistics option. But what I really wanted to show you guys was these features down here. So in addition to the actual mode you can put it in, you can actually expand the calculator to do unit conversions. This is something I use all the time.
Nice,
For example, my oven at home is in Celsius.
Okay.
And most recipes are in Fahrenheit. So what do? I just go to the type of conversion I want to do. I choose temperature, and let's say it called for 375 Fahrenheit, and it tells me how much set my oven in Celsius. And then of course you have all your different units you can choose: angles, area, energy, length, pressure, temperature, time, and that can be useful both for everyday use as well as students and other people
needing that. I had that during school. That'll come in handy for physics, boy.
Well, there's a lot of things I wish I had during school, that being one. that kind of giving away my age. You also have date calculations. This is pretty cool as well. I mean, sometimes it's just easy you want to know the time difference between two certain dates. This can give that to you, and it can give you in years, months, weeks, or days, and you just put in the date range.
My next birthday kind of thing.
Yeah,
sure.
Countdown,
Yep. And then there's a couple different worksheets here, which are also pretty cool. There's a mortgage calculator. So again, if you're applying for a loan and you want to get a quick idea of how much the monthly payments are going to be, you can enter the price, the down payment, the years, and the interest. I don't think we'll put in any figures because loans are pretty depressing in general, so we won't go that. But just to give you an idea, you also have a vehicle lease, which is similar. I mean, similar. Will calculate the payments for you based on the figures that you enter here, and then just I don't think many people in Grenada would use this so much, but fuel economy. So you can put in, how far you go, how much gas you use, and it'll tell you the fuel economy of your car. So kind of check and see, if your car is performing as it should. Time for a checkup kind of thing, a tune-up, I should say.
Wow.
Yep. So that's the calculator. Like I said, a lot of different, useful features that people may not know about. So I thought, let's show people.
Yeah. For real. Thank you so much. That was good. I learned something. I like the little shake thing. I'm going to try that today.
I think the shake thing is the most popular thing so
far. Shake.
But at least actual useful thing was the most popular.
It's the coolest, right?
Yeah. But the calculator, I can definitely see that coming in handy. It would save a lot of trying to sketch on a little paper.
Right.
It would save a lot. So thank you so much, Richard, for the tech time / tech talk, whatever it is.
Yeah. Next time you all will, we'll figure it out.
Or maybe we'll come up with something completely
different
again.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep it interesting.
All right, so thank you so much, and we'll see you again next week, Monday.
Yes.
Same place, same time.
I'll be here.
Same tech time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.